What's up, nerds? Video games and horror is my expertise, so you're in for a good one. In most cases, the villains in these games are the reasons why many of us stop playing the game altogether, so that's why I've created a list on this. I'm your host Andrew, and here are your top 10 scary video game villains. At a number 10 spot, we have Lisa from PT. For those who don't know, PT was a game demo or a playable teaser made to be a new game in the Nami series Silent Hill. This game, just like other Silent Hill games, is one of the scariest games people claim they have played in their lifetimes. Throughout your eerie journey, an apparition by the name of Lisa appears to you almost at all times, even if you don't see her right away. Lisa is a tall, smiling woman who wears a gray nightgown covered in blood. Throughout the game, you can hear her hysterical laughing and crying all around you, and when you hear her, it's best to assume she is literally right behind you. But don't get too close or she'll start twitching dramatically and brutally attack you. The story goes that Lisa was murdered by her own husband using a firearm. She was shot in the right eye, which is why she appears to be missing it. I'm gonna give you guys one more Lisa encounter. At a number 9 spot, we have Clickers from Last of Us. If you haven't played Last of Us, these guys were one of the most terrifying yet most annoying zombie types in the game. Last of Us takes place in a post-apocalyptic world following the story of Joel and Ellie, who were brought together by the fact they lost everything prior and needed each other for their own survival. When you journey through the game, you'll get to a point when you hear this. This sound is produced by the Clickers. These blind creatures make these sounds for echolocation, so it's vital to keep yourself unnoticeable to them or else. They look the way they do because they are a result of a prolonged exposure of the brain infection that caused them to be zombies in the first place. At our number 8 spot, we have the Witch from Left 4 Dead 2. I'm super excited about this one because for many, Left 4 Dead 2 was one of the most fun and unique co-op survival games of all time. For those unaware, Left 4 Dead 2 is the second installment of the Left 4 Dead series created by Valve Corporation. We follow the lives of 4 people: Ellis, Coach, Rochelle, and Nick, who fight through hordes and hordes of zombies through different unique campaign stages. This game gets pretty hectic with the amount of zombies chasing after you. As well, the game has some very unique zombie variants. To name some, we have the Hunter, the Charger, the Jockey, and personally my favorite, and the one we're gonna talk about, the Witch. The Witch is not like any other in this game. The Witch is unsuspectingly difficult and terrifying at the same time. She is caught crying in a spot in the game where you have to go through, so there's literally no way to avoid her. When you shoot around her or get too close, she'll stop crying and chase after you. At our number 7 spot, we have Laura from The Evil Within. This survival classic was developed by Tango Gameworks and was even directed by Resident Evil series creator Shinji Mikami. After being released in 2014, this game quickly gained the interest of horror game fans all around the world, with many people appreciating the rich, long, brilliantly thought out story and level design the game has to offer. One creature in the game is particularly dangerous and terrifying, and that is Laura. Well, at least a reincarnated version of her. Just to give some backstory before this, she actually looked pretty normal before. This all came to be when Laura was injured in a barn fire and passed away from the injuries. Now coming back in the afterlife, Laura has become this horrific creature. She's completely immune to bullets, but as expected, her weakness is fire. She's crawling on all 4 clawed hands, used to attack her enemies, and she has this ability to teleport behind your character. So there's no way to avoid this encounter. Fun fact, she's actually inspired by the spider yokai from Japanese folklore known as the Yorigam. At our number 6 spot, we're the Xenomorph from Alien Isolation. Alien Isolation is a first-person horror survival game developed by Creative Assembly and published by Sega. But let's forget about Sega for a second. Let's talk about these guys. These guys are known as the Xenomorphs, and they're extraterrestrial creatures designed to be the perfect killing machine. It's quick, stealthy, and it isn't restricted by morality. It has one goal, and that is to propagate, and whatever gets in the way will get brutally massacred. Even the propagations of these aliens is brutal. They're able to inject alien DNA through a human's mouth and will produce another xenomorph, which literally has to rip itself out of the person's stomach. So there's that, but the cutscenes and death scenes in this game are next level, and I might as well just give you guys a bit of it. Right in the hump of our list, we have Animatronics at Five Nights at Freddy's. If you haven't spent a night at Freddy's, I wouldn't highly recommend it. But hey, let's say you're getting paid good. I mean, it's a night shift. They're definitely paying extra. Your job is to take care of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Restaurant during the night. In it are life-size animatronics that perform for children, but at nights they begin to walk around and move on their own. Then before you know it, basically, what makes these guys so creepy is due to the uncanny valley, which is that feeling when you see something that closely resembles a human but is not quite realistic and not quite there. At a number 4 spot, we have the Reaper Leviathan from Subnautica. I can safely say right now that 99% of us right now are scared of what lies underneath the depths of the ocean, so this one definitely deserves a spot on this list. The Reaper Leviathan is a carnivorous sea creature that is usually found in open areas in the game, such as the crash zone, the dunes, and the mountain. Just like the Leviathan from mythology, this creature is massive. It is 55 meters in length, and it possesses a long, slim, muscular body. They also have a horn to stab its prey and an extending mouth housing hundreds of razor-sharp teeth. All the way at our number 3 spot, we have the Volatiles from Dying Light. Dying Light was the first of its kind, being a zombie survival game and a parkour game at the same time. Except this game was no run in the park. As you parkour over walls slashing through zombies, night is bound to hit, and that's when these guys come up. Volatiles are the equivalent to Left 4 Dead's witches, as I mentioned before. When you encounter one and they begin to notice you, they will stop at nothing to bring you down. These guys are massive too, with exposed muscle tissues and bones all over their body. You can constantly hear their heavy breathing and loud screeches in the dead of night. At our number 2 spot, we have Gatherers from Amnesia: The Dark Descent. This game takes place in Prussia around the 1830s. In this game, your character Daniel wakes up in a dark castle with no memory of anything else other than his name. Not only are you walking through these creepy halls and solving some pretty complicated puzzles, but you're also being hunted by this creature that had once served as servants in the castle. These creatures are known as the Gatherers, and there are 2 kinds: the Servant Grunt and the Servant Brute. And as you can tell, you'd much rather have an encounter with the Grunt. The Brute, on the other hand, is someone you don't want to meet. They have the ability to kill your character in only 1 strike, making this game much harder since you can't even hit anything that comes at you. If you're in a horror survival puzzle game that only leaves you defenseless, Amnesia is the game for you. At our number 1 spot, we have Jack Baker from Resident Evil 7.
Welcome to the family, son.
In Resident Evil 7, we meet Jack Baker, who is an American serial killer who stole, murdered, and consumed over 100 men and women. For Resident Evil fans, this is known since they are quite literally feeding you human organs.
Where am I? What the hell?
Rise and shine, sleepyhead. It's time for supper.
Most terrifying part for sure is the part where he chases you down with a chainsaw. This part gave me Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibes, and I was literally quite on the edge of my seat trying my best not to die in the game. This game also utilizes chase scenes very well because unlike their other games, there is no way to look back while running without completely turning towards the danger, which only can make your skin crawl more because you'll never know how far the enemy truly is from you. Well, these are the 10 scary video game villains. What do you guys think about this list? Should we talk about video games more? Let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like. I'm your host Andrew, and I hope you guys have a scary day.